Hey, you fellow respectable members of the furry community. Welcome back to episode 8 of the Coinflip podcast. I'm your host, Zach Ramaze, you can call me Liam. And once again, joining us today, we have the infamous, the legendary, the heterosexual, apparently, Lead Brain. Say hi, Lead Brain.
Hey, what's up? Also, we have our very first guest, which
I
is
was
amazing.
going to intro that, you cunt.
You listen here, mate.
And
I
anyway,
can do it. I'm a host.
We have our very first guest on today. He doesn't have any account, so he's just going to be speaking. We have the one and only Mr. W.
What's up, guys?
It's
good to be here today.
Yeah, we totally weren't slamming you in the previous episode.
Who we're going to refer to as Mr. W, or Walshy, I guess. So, Big Walsh.
Oh yeah, just give me away.
That's your surname. That can mean a million things.
That could mean a
It
million.
could.
We're a small military base. We operate in Uganda. Walsh could mean a different number of things, so don't worry about it.
It's quite simple. You do not know the way.
It's quite simple. We eat the Batman, who's got a fat joke on it.
Me.
Eat the Batman.
You do not know the way.
No, that is a
Oh yeah, Mr. W here is a bit of an outdated meme in the sense that he likes to use, a bit like Justin, outdated memes.
No,
You
mate.
bag out dead meat.
No meme is outdated until it stops triggering people, and clearly it's triggering you right now.
Memes are outdated because we deem it as such, okay? That's a Star Wars quote.
Rightio. Keep going, mate.
Anyway, there's something that really annoyed me today. A franchise that I have quite a few friends who love the hell out of, but I personally dislike. That being Fast and fucking Furious. Now, the thing about Fast and Furious
Not
is...
a big fan of it. Not a big fan.
I told you.
It's okay.
It's like they get a pass. 8 out of 10. The best thing ever. Make 1 million more. Poor wanker's dead. Whatever. They'll make like 90 of them because it's like really bombastic, stupid, over-the-top car movies where they just car chase. It's just fucking noise and just crap CG and terrible acting at times, and The Rock being The Rock for the 90th fucking time. Jason Statham will come in. They'll get some cameos from celebrities. Charlie's Theron. Whatever. I really do not fucking like Fast and Furious, and this is why I don't like Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious is gay. Walshy, what do you think about Fast and Furious?
Well, I mean, it was pretty good up until like the 7th one, but when they started making more than that, it started getting a bit old.
So the
I haven't seen any of the older ones, but I have seen 8, and that's it.
I've seen
thought
fucking
it was
5
okay.
of them. I see the first one, Tokyo Drift or whatever. The 7th one, Fate of the Cancerous, the 8th one, whatever. And then what was some other one?
Tokyo Drift, mate, that was the 3rd one.
I don't know all this shit, okay? Now, to be honest, I don't really care about all this shit. Because Fast and Furious is a bad franchise. It's panders so much, like, let's say you got hot girls, you got a car, you got The Rock being The Rock. That's gonna, like, get all the 12s moist, sure. But I don't like it. I like good filmmaking.
You know what the funny thing is about
It's so
Fast
boring.
and Furious?
Yeah.
It was literally a movie about racing cars, and now it's like turned into a full-on action movie.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Which is
It's
like,
so
why
gay.
how do you make that?
It's like, it's so
Yeah.
watered down. It's as boring as a superhero movie, I'd say.
It's not even a superhero movie.
It kind of is at this point. It's like, oh, we're in cars. Let's stop the bad guy. Da 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 da. Something gay happens, you know. Anyway, and a lot of the plots of Fast and Furious boil down to, hey, there's a new bad guy who relates to the other bad guy. We can go stop him. He's making the world go berserk. Cars are roaming freely. Something really gay is happening. Fast and Furious. Let's get The Rock. Let's get the cock. Let's get Vin Dipshit. Let's get every fucking actor that's, buzzes to 12-year-olds a lot. And we'll put him in fucking Fast and Furious. It's going to be really gay. Even though Paul Wanker or whatever is dead. And he created it and he died after fucking 7 or whatever. Or halfway through 7. I don't really care because the franchise is gay. And then this happens and we have mates who love it, but I just think it's gay. Fast and Furious is gay.
I was gonna say, did you ever watch? I know you've probably seen Triple X: Return of Xander Cage.
Yeah.
Holy
That was gay.
fucking
You can admit.
shit.
Alright, you can admit.
That was the biggest pile of dog shit I've ever seen.
And you can agree that was just tasteless rock action movie.
It was it was Vin Diesel. It was on The Rock.
Ah, fuck.
It was Vin
Xander
Diesel.
Cage is Vin Diesel, yeah. And you can agree
Yeah.
that sort of follows the same formula. What
Yeah,
the Rock,
it does.
the-
Like I watched it. I was like, yep.
Yeah, alright,
yep,
okay, shut up. What you can agree that what The Rock does for shitty American comedies, Vin Diesel does for shitty American action movies.
Yeah.
They're so boiled down and pointless.
Yep, they are. No doubt
It's like,
about
oh,
it.
we got a new age hero. He's Vin Diesel
And
being
the thing is,
faggy.
you can predict the movie's notes spot on too.
Yeah, I mean, most movies these days are kind of predictable.
Yeah.
Yes, especially superhero movies.
Some movies are alright, and they're good because you don't know what's going to happen, but a lot of them, because they're just like repeating from like movies that have been before, making new movies of the exact same movie.
To be fair, a lot
like
of...
Blade Runner, that
was
movie was
great.
just...
Shut up.
But it was... The first one was so much better.
Yeah, but that doesn't... The Blade Runner 2049 was really well done. But we're getting off topic. The point was how much I dislike Fast and Furious. Alright, if
you can branch off into other things. This is not all.
I mean...
Uh,
yeah,
Start
are
with
you
just
really
jump on that
gonna...
point.
But if I think about that, is like, if you were going to give a numerical score out of 10, what would you give Fast and Furious? Because I would give it a fucking 6, maybe a 5.
So like above average or average.
6 is okay, average, mediocre is
So-
5. This is how I go. 1 is fucking dreadful, 2 is terrible, 3 is potentially good but really terrible, 4 is just plain bad, 5 is mediocre to decent, 6 is okay, 7 is good, 8 is great, 9 is phenomenal, amazing, almost flawless, and 10 is a masterpiece. But I would never give any film a 10.
You
in my
should
opinion.
like either the thing is like
No.
most things should fall on a gradient between 2 and 9.
Yeah.
However, very few things should
Yeah.
be given a 10 and a 1 because
Yeah.
if you give too many
That's
10s
true.
out, you give too many 1s out.
It's like,
it decreases the overall value of the 10 and the 1.
do you feel
Yeah.
that like it's kind of unfair to give, I don't know, movies and games a 10 because nothing is perfect?
Yeah, well, I mean, you get the occasional game that's just like,
Revolutionary or
Like-
yeah, like mind
or
blowing.
the movie that's like just the best thing you've ever seen or played in your life, and
Like
it's just
a
like,
Citizen Kane or something, really.
yeah.
Yeah, or any
And-
Tarantino movie.
And it's like worth a
Most of
10,
them.
in my opinion. But I can see why a lot of people would just stick to going no higher than 9 or going no lower than 2 because of the fact that like
yeah,
that high 10 is like the best thing ever, and it should be saved
Yeah.
for only things that like
yeah.
you can find nothing wrong with, or if you find something wrong with it, it's the tiniest little bit.
I'm
Yeah.
big into a lot of YouTube channels
It was-
like Jello Apocalypse, Ashens, Your Movie Sucks, a lot of Red Letter Media, and they love giving numerical scores, but in their opinion, not really anything gets a 10, because a 10 is like a masterpiece rating.
Yeah.
A 10 implies that the movie is flawless, or a game is flawless, and I don't think really any movie or game is flawless. Sure, there's some that comes close, but nothing is perfect. So is the idea of a 10 out of 10 really existent? Because I don't know, you'll get a game company like IGN that's like, oh, give everything a fucking 10
can't-
out of 10.
Yeah, nothing, like, even, I remember IGN was, like, slammed for giving, like, Witcher, like, a 9 something, and then Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain came out, and they gave it a 10 out of 10. And it was like, that game, it is a good game, it should be a 9, a high 9, however, it should not have received a 10 out of 10.
It is weird. Look,
It's like, there's always, like, yes, it's high, but I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10.
yeah, something like that.
Because a 10 out of 10 means phenomenal, godlike. And then the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, if you give something a 10 out of 10, it means you have to rescale your whole methodology of doing everything,
Alright,
and then rescale everything.
let me tell you
But
something.
yeah, I
But
mean,
with-
it also, you gotta compare like the genre of the game slash movie, or
Yeah.
but you also gotta also think that like each person gives their own ranking system.
Yeah.
So if that individual person who gave that game the 10 out of 10, that was their opinion, but
Yeah.
if you're gonna publicly share that, you
yeah.
should share it as your
Yeah.
base opinion instead of like as an opinion for everyone.
Alright, that's fair. But here's the thing, Walshy. There are sites that exist such as Metacritic,
Yeah.
IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, and they sadly have bias. Now, what that
Yeah.
means is that they'll appreciate bigger companies' scores, and they'll be worth more than regular people's opinions, which is kind of inherently just against the rating system in general. Like, I don't know, IGN gives a 10 out of 10 to a game, 50 regular people give it like a 6, it's still going to get a 10.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah.
It's like the user score does impact it. It's like, remember there were a few games where there was always a big divide between the users and then the reviewers?
meta bombing, it's called.
Yeah, I mean, there was a really recent example of it. I can't remember though.
Alright, let's see. Corey in the House was a meme because the video game was really bad, but everybody memed it for some reason. A bunch of people gave it a 10 because IGN gave it like a 2 or some shit. It has like an 80. So it's a lot of these systems like Metacritic, IMDb, fucking Rotten Tomatoes, they're kind of inherently flawed because of the meta bombing thing.
Yeah.
Because of these
Yeah.
fucking losers saying, no, the opinions of a company like IGN or GameSpot or something is worth more than regular people's opinions. You could give it 10 on GameSpot, but if you give like 50 million ones on, I don't know, just regular people, it'll have like a 60% or something really stupid like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I'm just-
that's true, but I mean, like, what they should do is, like, yeah, obviously, if they get, like, proper critics to
Yeah.
play or the game or
Or
watch the
review,
movie and review it, obviously, because that's their profession, that's what they get paid for,
Yeah.
like, their opinion is obviously going to be a lot higher than, just say, any random person, but, like, I still think that, like, any random person could, like, add to that review and, like,
Expand upon it.
expand upon it. Like, obviously, the critics put out their very first opinion, and that's what starts it. But I reckon the public should at least be able to continually update it when they play or watch the movie. They should be able to put their own rank on it, and then it like obviously calculates it.
Yeah, but what's gay about that is...
I mean, you've always got to be aware of, like, the critic and you regular people debate, because a critic, that's their job. They can go, if they're a game reviewer, they can claim their games as on tax, and then they can just... effectively get it for free.
That's it.
For a heavily discounted rate.
But
whereas us, we got to fork out our hard-earned cash for it, so therefore we got to know what's worth our cash.
Yeah.
But the thing is, kind of, think about this, right? With something like the Fast and Furious movies, I think they're bad. A lot of them. But here's the thing. The reviewing scores are like... The general consensus is, let's say, something like the new one, The Fate of the Cancerous or whatever.
Furious,
Yeah, that one gets like, let's say... If the general consensus is like it's a bad or a mediocre 5 out of 10 movie. I don't know, it's like a 60 on Metacritic. But because it's site like IGN or some bullshit gives it like an 8, which it really doesn't deserve because it's another boring, bombastic, shallow, just Jason Statham, fucking Vin Diesel rock movie. Their opinion is worth more, and it's wrong that it is, okay?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, these fucking generic Hollywood fucking types who are just like, oh, we're going to give this movie a pass just because it's got The Rock in it and Vin Diesel. And that's the stupid thing about corporations in America trying to market to kids in general because they're like, hey, we know what sells. Put The Rock on some retarded comedy. Put Vin Diesel in some shitty action movie. Jumble them all together. Put in a Fast and Furious, lifeless, predictable Hollywood sham. And it'll make a lot of money. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day because it makes money. And they're going to do a bunch of Fast and Furious movies even though they're fucking Paul Wanker is dead or whatever. So it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you can sell something like Fast and Furious because of the score it's given. It'll get a good score no matter what because it's just, Fast and Furious, put The Rock in it.
Yeah.
And it's wrong that it does,
And that being said, there's always going to be, like, there's that divide, but then there are some times where everyone will just universally agree on everything.
Like,
there is sometimes it does occur. Like, everyone go, yes, that is a garbage.
I cannot name one thing that, like, fucking everybody universally agrees on. One thing.
Well, obviously, there's not going to be like.
What about every Tarantino movie is good?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How about that? Would you say that would be universal?
Yeah, but obviously, I don't think anything's universal. There's always going to be one people like, I didn't like Death Proof. I didn't like Kill Bill Volume 2. Some shit like that.
Okay, let's re-specify. Say, for instance, how about this? Pulp Fiction is a good movie. Would you say that would be a universal truth?
There's always going to be people who have different opinions, so no.
Yeah.
So universal opinions don't really fucking...
I do agree with that one.
Maybe not a universal opinion, maybe more of a general consensus.
What's something that we disagree on that's like fundamentally really popular? Blade Runner 2049, I loved. You two dislike it a bit, and I'm fine with that.
I lacked a lot of context for it.
I think it was purposely vague, and it should be.
When I mean I lack context, I mean I didn't watch the first one.
Oh, then that's probably fucking right.
I can't exactly make up my... Like, I didn't enjoy it because I was just like, wait.
Alright.
Like, I found it quite dull, but I'm just like... I wasn't even quite sure what I was expecting from a Blade Runner.
Alright,
I was expecting, like, a fun sci-fi romp.
And it was?
And it wasn't. It was a deep...
It's a steampunk... No, not steampunk. Cyberpunk. Sort of, It's not meant to be sci-fi. It's meant to be sort of an action...
Yeah, Well, I wouldn't say... It was more philosophical.
Alright, so let's just sum it down to this,
I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, alright, let's sum it down to this. There is a difference between universally agreed upon and the general consensus. And the general consensus is something like, hey, The Force Awakens was great, but it copied a bit from the originals. Hey, Fast and Furious is good, and we'll give it a pass just because it's got these actors in it who we like and a stupid, non-tangible plot. Or a general consensus is something like, hey, The Hobbit was overstretched. We're obviously going to disagree on some of that, we're going to agree on some of that.
Yeah,
the general consensus does not mean 100%. There's going to be people who disagree, and that's fine.
Actually,
should be.
Going on The Hobbit, what parts would you... Like, that being said, like, using The Hobbit, for instance, what parts would you say could be dropped?
Love plot between Killy and Tauriel.
Okay,
the Gundabad plot between Legolas and Leapt. Let's see, some of the battle scenes in Five Armies, a bit of Mirkwood in... They're travelling through Mirkwood and Desolation of Smaug.
I thought that part was actually really good.
It was good.
The barrels were cool.
Let's think of the barrels. I mean, not the barrels in Mirkwood. Travelling when they're first in Mirkwood, everybody gets lost. The spider fight in Mirkwood was fun when Bilbo gets named Sting or whatever. I do think that the Goblin tunnels overstayed its welcome a bit in the first movie. The troll part should have been a bit more brief, because it wasn't in the books. It was really brief in the books. When Bilbo and all that get captured by the three trolls, it turned to stone by Gandalf. Whatever.
That scene was fun though. That
Shouldn't have been as long. It shouldn't have been as long.
I actually disagree with that because I find that like the length that they gave it, they needed to explain it more and because it was such like a good part of the movie, it was like a fun, engaging part to the movie, drawing the audience in. So I reckon giving it the extra length, because some of the parts that followed that were a bit boring, but because everyone was so engaged through that particular part of the movie, they were able to get through like the boring parts that followed. Absolutely. If you get what I mean.
But I found that a lot of the first Hobbit movie, Unexpected Journey, wasn't actually boring. There's good stuff happening, so I disagree slightly upon that. But if the Hobbit was 2 movies and they summed it down a bit, I reckon it could have been phenomenal. Because the Hobbit book is quite lengthy, and I guess the excuse to having 2 movies would be like, hey, in the Hobbit they travel to more places than they do in Lord of the Rings. Like Lord of the Rings is 3 books. They travel across Gondor, Mordor, Helm's Deep, all of Rohan, the Elven territory at the beginning.
They go from the Shire all the way to Mordor.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they go from there to there.
But the Hobbit, they tried to be like Lord of the Rings in the end game, where it was like, hey, we have different plots going on. Like in Lord of the Rings, you had plots going on, like I don't know, Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and Rohan.
Well, to be fair,
you had Frodo and Sam going to Mount Doom, and you had Merry and Pippin in Isengard with the Ents, whatever. So you had different plots in Lord of the Rings. And I feel like The Hobbit struggled a bit because it tried to be like that in the last movie, Fire Army, where they had different plots going on. However brief.
Like, they still go from, in Hobbit, they still go from the Shire to Mount Erebor, is it?
Erebor, yeah.
Erebor, yeah.
But The Hobbit is something I can endlessly rewatch. I reckon it's going to get better with age.
I was going to say, I preferred The Hobbit to The Lord of the Rings, actually. I was going to say I preferred The Hobbit.
Really?
I would 100% disagree on that, but you're perfectly entitled to have that opinion. But The Lord of the Rings has a better script, much more engaging.
The story is definitely far deeper, and it goes into like far
in Lord of the Rings,
themes. The character development is far greater.
Oh, actually,
but The Hobbit, I feel, was a more fun film to watch, which is ultimately why I watch.
It's because it's fast paced.
For fun, I watch for entertainment. I don't want to get I don't want to get my ear chewed off about philosophy or like some deep, engaging characters. Like I want engaging characters,
but I like that
want,
stuff as well. I like that stuff at the same time. I like the deep stuff.
Like for instance, like one of my gripes with Lord of the Rings is Aragorn's romance with that fucking elf. Jeez, that was boring.
It's brief though.
It's brief, but it's boring.
And when the parts...
And it drags out.
And they're well done when it does happen.
There's at least like a couple scenes in each movie dedicated to it. I'm like, go away.
Yeah, but there's a brief part. Of course there's stuff you don't like, but I'd say that the general consensus and my opinion of Lord of the Rings is one of probably my favourite trilogy ever made, surpassing even the original Star Wars, because I just love Lord of the Rings so much.
Like, I'm not saying they're bad, but they're great movies. But I'm just saying,
fucking amazing movies.
If I had to pick one trilogy to watch, it would be The Hobbit.
Oh, I guess that's because The Hobbits are more recent, and there are 2 things The Hobbit probably does better than Lord of the Rings. Hobbit has slightly better pacing, and The Hobbit has more character development. Lord of the Rings, with the character development, they only focus on the original, like, 4 people, like, for 4 people, like Frodo, Sam, Gandalf, and Aragorn. People like Legolas and Gimli, while they're cool and you know about them, they're kind of skipped over in terms of character development.
Yeah, true.
But that's picked up by the banter characters have together. Like Legolas and Gimli will have a bit of banter. Merry and Pippin will have banter.
What's the kill count? 1, 2,
yeah, that was a great.
21.
But I
that only counts as 1.
So in a sense, movies, well, they don't have character development for certain characters. Banter can sort of pick it up. You know what I mean? But for someone like, I think Lord of the Rings does scenes a bit better. I love both trilogies, to be honest. But whose death do you think was more impeccable? Thorin's at the end of The Hobbit or Boromir's at the end of Lord of the Rings first one?
I
think Boromir's.
Thorin's death was bullshit.
He wasn't... Yeah,
the guy was under ice, stabs him through the foot, and he just dies from
I would have rather he just, like...
I'd rather Thorin didn't die. That was unnecessary.
Yeah, but he has to die. It's mentioned in Lord of the Rings how he's dead, so you have to tie that up.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. But what I mean is, like, he had a good arc as a character.
I would have just had him die killing goblins or something.
Like, he didn't die in, he dies fighting the Pale Orc.
Azog, yeah.
Azog,
If Azog just, stabbed him and then fell in the water, that would have been cool.
And I can't remember how...
Also, The Hobbit has great CGI. That's one thing I can say. It's over-reliant on CGI at times, but it's not like Star Wars prequel level of over-reliant.
Yeah.
And also, the Hobbit has like good CGI, unlike something like the Star Wars prequel, or even some Tarantino movies in some case.
Well, Tarantino doesn't like using. He's very practical. Like
Yes, but
like his last Hateful Eight was shot on originally 80 millimeter.
no, I mean CGI in
Yeah,
something
it
like
was.
Kill Bill.
Yeah.
I love Tarantino, and he doesn't use CGI that much. He's more of a practical man, which I can
he's more,
respect.
yeah,
and get
he's
down
more
with.
hands-on.
Now, the thing is that when you got something like Fast and Furious, which we can agree the CGI in that goes from mediocre to just plain laughable at times. Because
yeah.
you have something like, hey, this car is CGI, this explosion, or this car driving through this fucking ridiculously big building is CGI.
The big thing is, like, I know there's always the debate where practical is better than
yeah,
CGI.
practical costs a lot
Yeah,
more.
But
well-
the thing was, like, there's always a swap outs or caveats to each one. Like, sure, CGI, like, you can pick out CGI easier, but the thing with CGI is
CGI is so
it's easier to do.
yeah, but
it is.
it may be, but it's sort of a double-edged sword in the way that CGI may be easier to do, but it's also easier to fuck up and make it look terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Whereas practical, how many more people are required to work on?
CGI can look appalling
A
at
lot.
times, especially if it's used
Like
badly.
the Mad Max Fury Road, great movie. Took a long time in production because they had to make every car in that is practical.
They went
Yeah.
the extra
They
mile,
had to
though.
make each and every
But
car.
they went the extra mile, and it was a phenomenal
Yeah.
success. Mad Max Fury Road is one of the movies where basically everything had to work, or none of it would be. And for the most part, I feel almost pretty much every element
There are
is on point.
CGI scenes in Mad Max Fury Road,
Yeah, but they're done well.
but they're done well.
There's a difference
But
between
I
that and
also
something like... Yeah, sorry.
I also think that, like, when it comes to practical versus CGI, I do believe, like, practical in most cases is a lot better. Because
it looks real.
It looks real because it is real.
It is, it is.
But, like, I also think that, like, sometimes, like, CGI, depending on the movie, is a lot better than practical.
Definitely.
Like, some things, like, if you're trying to make something look good with something that's practical, but then the practical thing looks bad,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what are you going to do about that?
It's kind of like the thing with I know like especially like in older horror movies where practical was all the rage, and then they've morphed into CGI, and everyone hates all the CGI, and everyone loves the practical because the practical is you could really get in there and do some really funky stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas CGI is like, no, we got to show it off.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Whereas like practical is you got to be like cost efficient, so you didn't have to make these huge elaborate models. Like you could make these small things and like only have them occasionally pop out.
Yeah.
And that added that extra mystery. But people also want to see a massive show sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, especially with horror movies, like, practical is always good, but
Yeah.
I do believe in horror movies they should use CGI because you can do so much more with CGI.
You can add more. Like
And
it
you
makes it more out of the world.
And you can make it, like, when it comes to horror movies, like, I have not met a horror movie that hasn't scared me once. Like,
True,
just putting it out there. Like, horror movies aren't scary to me.
Just there's always that one scene that gets you in it. Like a random screamer. or
the
random jump.
only thing that got me was in Annabelle when the freaking doll just like dives on the floor in front of and like while the chick's watching under the door.
Oh, so it's like just the jump.
Jump.
The jump is what gets
That jump got me.
The
but
jump gets everyone. Jumps get everyone.
yeah, but
That's why jumps are the worst.
jump
Because
scares don't even get me normally. It was just that one
Yeah.
time because I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, like sometimes like jumps like they don't affect me that much, but if you get a good one,
It can
like,
freak you out.
It can freak you out. Like it
Yeah.
generally goes through you and go, "Well,
Yeah,
geez,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't expecting that."
But
Yeah.
horror movies in general, I'd say I'm quite picky with. For example,
Yeah.
we saw, remember the new It came out? You were there, weren't you?
Yeah, but
I didn't actually go to see it.
You haven't seen
I
it?
wanted to
I reckon
so
it's
badly,
so
but I haven't
good.
seen it yet.
it's good.
I reckon you'd love it.
Good,
Now,
good.
It isn't necessarily a really,
I
really
wouldn't
scary
s- I
movie.
wouldn't
It's got
say horror. I'd
it's
say
got
thriller.
thriller horror. It is marketed as a horror. Now, it is a horror movie, but I wouldn't say it's too scary. And of course, it relies on jump scares a bit, but it's done decently. And I'd say being done decently is better than it being done bad. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that, now what I mean by that is think about this. Whenever you get a jump scare in a movie, in a game, whatever, of course it's gonna, no matter how brave you are or whatever, of course it's gonna shoot a reaction out of you. I jump at some of that shit. We all do. That's fine. But that's kind of. Do you feel that jump scares are kind of the laziest
They
sort
are,
of
yeah, they
way
are.
of
But
scaring?
at
They
the
are,
same
yeah.
time, they are the easiest ones to pull off. Like for instance,
They're so easy to
for
pull off.
instance, some of my favorite horror stories are like creepypastas or Lovecraftian because they build atmosphere
Atmospheres.
and dread.
Atmospheres are so much more
And, like
effective.
for instance,
I reckon.
one of the best creepypastas I've read, 1999.
Oh god.
Classic. Everyone goes that is one of the best creepypastas around. But why? Like, it's a long story, like an hour read.
Yeah.
However, it builds dread. It's based on like real things. Like you go, oh god, maybe this was real. Maybe it actually happened.
Yeah.
Like the more real it sounds, like especially the deep web ones.
Oh, the
They
deep
are
web ones are
creepy
so
as
creepy
hell.
because
Like,
they actually could be a
be
real thing.
They could be a real.
Like-
Like some of it is clearly fake.
Yeah,
you can,
obviously.
Like from a technical standpoint, you can go, yeah, that's fake. But like some of it, like some of the chat room ones,
Yeah.
are so goddamn spooky.
The problem is I find that kind of generic in the way that all the creepypastas like that, with the chat room or whatever, they end in the same way. Like something bad will happen. No, it's this guy. No, it's someone else who actually did the murders. And then it's like, oh wait, we Occam raised the actual evil being into existence.
Yeah, so like one of the creepypasta ones that we listened to was had a guy wasn't careful enough on the deep web, and then he ends up being stalked.
Oh yeah.
That was a
I
good
remember
one.
that. That was
It
a
ends up
really
with the guys
good one.
being caught, but at the same time the guy's like scarred for life.
Yeah, but to be honest, the way they got caught was pretty dumb.
With like cops eventually
Yeah.
like catching onto him.
I
know,
mean,
it's
how
quite-
dumb was that though? It could have been. They could have made that creepypasta so
Yeah.
much better.
Like,
But they had to
Yeah.
stuff it up by doing the old casual. Oh, the cops got him.
cops got
Got him.
Yeah. But
Got him.
some
That's
of-
it.
Like creepypasta, you gotta be careful with creepypasta because some are just garbage. Some you'll just be like, wait, what? Then I remember there was this one that was really good. Mother's Call. It's about 2 sentences long,
Oh.
and it's like basically the story goes: a daughter is playing in a room. She gets called by her mother. She goes down the stairs. As she's going down the stairs, an arm pulls her into the understairs cupboard. It's her mother. The mother tells her daughter, "Don't go into the kitchen. I heard it too." That's it. It just ends. What's in the kitchen?
A rapist? Don't worry.
Who knows? Like,
Who
it
knows?
sounded like
Yeah,
a mother.
I know who's in the kitchen.
Who's in the kitchen?
I know who's in the kitchen. It's Vin Diesel marketing his new Fast and Furious movie. They go, hey boys, hey girls, you want to see
Or
some really
was-
good Fast and Furious action? We got Dominic Toretto, we got Jason Statham, we got Paul Wanker. It's gonna be a great sci-fi round, boys, and we're gonna have really bad CG, and you're gonna love it because you're 12 years old, man.
What was
What
that
the-
about?
Watch Fast and Furious 9, the fate of the return of the Furious of the Tokyo Drift 27. Coming soon.
Oh.
But yeah, like,
No, but again with that thing,
like back on the horror.
but
Well, I can't
also
really get in-
with that 2-sentence creepypasta, I reckon what happens if her mother was actually the one in the kitchen and the person who pulled her in was
It's just
actually someone that just looked like her mother.
Be like, oh, prove it. What's my
knows?
birthday?
Who knows?
That's the thing. And because it was a 2-sentence one, it's like, well,
What's gonna happen
there's
next?
there's no clarification.
there's
You're
no
just like,
clarification.
oh,
You
It
just gotta-
sounds like a really weirdly done
It's-
rape story.
yeah, but
It could be.
It could be. But
You
we
never
don't
know.
It's like, submit your pussy
And
to
that's
me. Get ready.
that's the other thing. Like, that's what like the other thing with good horror is like you can have like sometimes a jump scare is good. Like a jump scare is a
Yeah,
good
but
way
it's
to get
really
that.
lazy.
But
Yeah,
I,
it's
I
lazy, but
find
a
that
good-
like
if you
but
have
a good
one-
jump scare is appreciated. Good jump scare.
Well, it's
scares
like
is
some
good.
Five Nights at Freddy's bullshit. If you have 1 or 2 jump scares and something like it, or something really well done,
Yeah.
I can get away with that, and they're probably not even that bad.
It's kind of like why I can't play Five Nights at Freddy's because all I know is
'Cause
it's
they're
going to be
shit.
jump scares and I know what's going to happen to my
Yeah,
heart.
but those games in general are
You're gonna
shit
just
watered
die.
down.
It's
So I
gonna
don't really
die,
care.
yeah.
I find that they made way too many Five Nights at Freddy's for it to be fun anymore.
It's shit anyway. I like the first one. Then
The first one and maybe the second.
when
and
I was 14, I liked it. Yeah, I don't
no,
care.
the first one was really good. I agree.
Yeah.
The second one I thought was
The
pretty
first one
good
was
as well.
The first one came out of nowhere and everyone loved it.
And
they
everyone
just
loved
rushed
it,
out
yeah.
like 4 games.
And then
in
they
1 year.
rushed out like 7 million games.
They did,
And they
literally.
did. There's like 10 of them now.
There's a few of them, mate. There's like
Yeah,
up
and
to 5.
it's just so dumb and so repetitive.
Yeah.
It's just gay.
And the thing is, there's this whole elaborate story behind it too, which is
Oh, they
cool.
got murdered. They did this. They
But the thing
But
is,
it's just why?
The purple wanker killed
You
them and
could've,
shot
like,
them in
you
the
could've
fucking
Could have kept it at the 2
Barney
games,
the dinosaur
and you would have
suit.
made so
It's
much
gay.
money.
But here's the thing.
But then you decided to be like all dumb and be like, oh, I would have made 7 more.
Yeah, but the thing is that they make a ton of money and they're popular with retard 14-year-olds, like I sadly was at the time, but it doesn't matter. Now, what the thing about Five Nights at Freddy's is it's so overused to the point where the scare, for me at least, the atmosphere doesn't work anymore. It's not effective. I wouldn't say it spoiled me for horror movies in general, horror games in general. I fucking love the original Outlast, and I even like Outlast 2, because I think that those are good, really well-made games, and the atmosphere is great. Sure, if you replay it a few times, you get to see the fatigue, but even that's still
Yeah.
fun to replay, and it has a really good atmosphere to the point where you can sort of, it's not a
But the
typical
thing-
haunted house sort of thing.
one
you know?
thing I'd have to say about
For
Outlast.
fuck's sake,
That was-
ignore it.
But the one thing I was going to say about Outlast is like it has actual genuine dread. Like you haven't got a way to fight back. you've only got to run and hide.
That's the argument of a lot of horror though. Like the older Resident Evil's like, hey,
Yeah.
you've got nowhere to fight back.
Whereas the new Resident Evil is like, okay, you can fight. Here's a shotgun.
No.
Here's a shotgun.
Resident Evil 6
And then
was
it's
terrible.
like it's still coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is cool.
Resident Evil 6 was terrible. 7 was alright. I like 7.
I haven't played 7.
It was a soft reboot, and it's a lot better than
Yeah.
all the shit they've been putting out
Like,
recently.
One part I did like about Resident Evil 7 is like they give you a weapon, but the family is clearly not of this world, and they like you shoot them, burn them, blow them up. You do all these things to them, and you're just like, all right, you're not coming back, and then he comes back even worse.
I'm pretty
It's
picky.
just like, what?
I'm pretty picky with horror. Honestly, it has to be something really effective to scare me or make me be like, oh, that's good. I'll watch the sequel. It's really good. So it's an interesting kind of genre because horror in general is you could say it's subjective, but what scares you really is kind of all the same at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like we're all gonna get scared by a jump scare.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
all gonna see fucked up imagery
Yeah.
or really dark atmospheres, and we like that.
But
for
each of
horror.
us have our own personal preference for like horror.
For example, creepypasta doesn't do it for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's scary, but I don't really care.
Yeah, that's my personal one. I like a slow burning, like a slow burn. Like it's a slowly building up fear. And and then when you hear him late at night, and you're like heard a really good one at night, you go to bed and you're just like, wait, was that the
You
rake?
can't shake off that that
You're just
childlike
like, wait,
fear.
is that
Yes.
the rake?
The rake.
Like, for
That's
example,
Oh, it's the rapist in the roof. We're gonna
classic
die.
one.
yeah, the rake's good. Like, thank God the rake has not been overused. I love rake stories.
Oh, yeah.
But Slenderman, fuck.
Oh.
Slenderman is
Why are
dead.
you even talking
Alright,
about him?
Do you know there's a movie called...
Yes, I know.
But is it
I
the
wanna watch
Slenderman that we used to play at the game, or is it a
it's-
different one?
No, it's the Slenderman. Tall dude, no face,
In
tie,
the suit?
everything.
So that's
Suit.
the Slenderman
I
from
want
the
to
8
watch
pages
the
of the video
movie.
game.
I kind of want to watch the movie.
I don't, because I don't care about it.
Oh, I think the
I
movie's
wanna
just
watch
gonna
it.
be super gay.
I know it's probably going to be
Yeah.
stupid. I know it's going to be jump scared because the one thing that made the original Slenderman creepypasta really good, it was because it was just brand new,
It
different.
wasn't as creepypasta, it was a game where you collect
No.
pages.
The game is based on the creepypasta.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
creepypasta is
the
like
creepypasta came first, and then they made a game, and then they made another game, then they made a freaking.
They made
Other-
2 games. To be
Yeah, they
fair,
made
only
2
two,
games.
Only 2.
They made 2 games, and then they made some
Yeah.
other random cancer
Let me put it
about
like
it.
this.
far as
Slenderman
I'm
made me
aware-
aware of creepypastas,
True.
and then once I've entered the world of creepypastas, there's all this other stuff. And like Slenderman is one of the main mascots of creepy. You've got
Slenderman,
Smile Dog,
Smile Dog,
Eyeless Jack,
Jeff the Killer.
Jeff the Killer,
And, stuff
the Rake.
like
and
that.
the Rake.
The Rake.
the Five. They're the big five.
they're the big 5.
So they're sort of the mascots in the same way that...
Slenderman has been used to death.
See, I think that Slenderman should just be stopped altogether because
Yeah.
it's so gay.
But it markets
No
really
one
well.
likes Slenderman anymore.
Yeah, but you can say that, but it's so
He's
subjective it
marketable,
markets
though.
really well.
Whereas,
In the same way that The Rock and Vin Diesel
yeah,
and Fast and Furious
whereas
is
the
really marketable.
other ones are really like Smile Dog is genuinely like scary.
What's
See-
the one where he's on his back like that?
I enjoy creepypastas a lot.
Like he's walking backwards, but no, he's crawling backwards. It's like, ugh.
I don't know.
I don't know, that
Is
was
some
alright.
movie?
Oh, do you remember Lost Tapes?
Fuck yes.
They were dope, man.
They were good because they explored cryptids.
But it wasn't-
Cryptids
it
are
wasn't-
always cool. Really.
And it wasn't just like, zombies or shit. It was like actual fucked up shit, like deep sea krakens and all that,
Deep sea-
and like hellhounds and that was so dope
Yeah,
back in the
and
day.
see-
What's this?
Lost Tapes. It
Lost
was a
Tapes.
series.
Like it was like a documentary on cryptids.
Yeah.
Ah.
And it had like made up tapes
With
about
scenarios
people,
that were really
scenarios
good.
of people encountering them,
Oh.
which was always interesting.
I think it was on.
Well,
Animal Planet.
I've never
Yeah, it
actually
was on
seen
Animal
it.
And it was like it's sort of this I guess you could say horror mockumentary in a way.
Yeah, because the thing is, there's a thing called cryptozoology. Like it's it's a pseudoscience. So you can become there isn't like a formal education. You can say, I'm a cryptozoologist, which is like the bullshit career. But the thing is, like, cryptids are always like an interesting, like another like aspect of like horror.
Yeah.
Like for
Yeah.
instance, a lot of like some creepypastas are based on cryptids. Like the Wendigo, that's another.
Is that the one where he crawls on his back or
That
whatever?
might be.
It might be.
Because I know that one was like this really scary thing.
I actually know what you're talking about though.
The Wendigo.
It's the one where his like head is on
Yes.
backwards, his stomach's facing
And
up,
he's- yeah,
his
and he's
back's
crawling
facing down, and he's
backwards.
like on 4 like.
That's the one.
I think
That's a good
And he has
like, scary.
he doesn't
thing.
have
I like
legs.
that.
He has
That's
4
awesome.
arms, and he just crawls on his 4 arms.
Oh.
Something like that. I know what you mean. Avogadro. That's the one. Is it?
Wait,
I think-
You told me fucking at least 7 years ago. We were in primary school.
Oh no! Oh god!
How
Yeah.
do I remember that? Holy fuck.
Oh.
I know what you're
I
talking
thi- I
about.
know
Though. I've
it-
seen it before.
Yes, we're
I
talking,
think I know
we're
what you're
thinking
talking
about the
about
same
too.
thing.
I just
definitely.
need the name, and if I know the name,
Avogadro or Wendigo or whatever.
Wendigo.
It was something. It was something really weird. But
Whatever Mr. W said.
Yeah.
We can search it up
Yeah.
now.
Well,
we could.
Just creature crawling on his back, whatever. But like horror in general, like something like a creepypasta, well, I'm not really into. I'll be into like reading a short story maybe, or a really well-made movie, like It 2017, or like something like that I wouldn't watch is something stupid like Smiley, or some crap like horror movie that's made on chat roulette sort of, that fatigue. And that gets boring after a while. We can be honest.
With backwards head.
But there's other stuff horror that I quite enjoy, like I don't know. I guess it's a bit less horror, but Dracula, the older ones with Bram Stoker or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
Even some of the
yeah.
newer ones, like they're really fun to watch. And like we'll look at it later.
yeah. Nah,
What's up?
that's gonna take forever to find.
Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, I think we're thinking about the same thing. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like horror has like really evolved.
Do you remember Mothman?
It has.
Yeah, again, like that is both a creepypasta and a cryptid.
Yeah, he liked to hump bridges or some shit. I don't
Like
know.
yeah, like he would always appear before disaster struck. Like he was like an omen. But the thing is, like people explain the incident as a very large owl with red eyes.
Yeah.
Like there are like if you look at those events and people say it was a cryptid, there are ways it can be explained.
Oh, get your
But
tinfoil
no-
hat out.
But no one can actually fully explain it.
It is hard to
That's
explain.
what makes cryptids creepy. Because it's just like, it could be that, but at the same time, it was just like, there has to be some other logical, scientific explanation.
Yeah,
Always-
it could just be someone wearing
Like-
a suit.
Yeah, that's, like, for instance, there was one, with the Mothman one, there was like, people were reporting a very large bird-like figure.
Just
And
fucking
whenever,
around.
like at one point, this couple had their lights shone on a tree, and what they remember seeing was nothing else but the bright red eyes. And that's what everyone associates with the Mothman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta watch Lost Tapes again.
Yeah.
That was dope.
That was good. We
The
should-
Kraken one's really
Oh, that was like anything that involves water is good.
Dude, the
because,
deep
like,
sea
the
shit scares the
deep
hell out of
is
me.
terrifying because
That-
we don't know the deep. The
See,
deep
I
is-
actually haven't heard really much about like
The
horror
deep-
movies in the deep
Oh,
waters.
well, I
and
don't
stuff.
think there
You
are
got,
many
like-
of them. It's like the Kraken or
like,
the Aquaman octopus.
Have you ever heard of the
Oklahoma.
H.P. Lovecraft?
Yeah, like Cthulhu and shit.
Cthulhu,
That image is-
Dagon.
that-
Like he does a lot of deep sea
The
stuff.
atmosphere is really
Okay.
freaky, I'll say
Yeah,
that.
like there's like one called Shadow over Innsmouth, I think it is. Yeah, Shadow over
What the
Innsmouth.
fuck does Lovecraft mean? Like that sort of
Love,
little punk?
Lovecraftian effectively means like you've sort of like a world that is our world, but at the same time, like when we enter another, like there is another world.
Yeah.
However, that world is beyond our ability to comprehend, and it's just the idea of that world drives us insane. Like a lot of Lovecraft's themes are like there are some things in this universe that humanity should never know
A
about.
bit like Bioshock.
A bit like Bioshock.
I know, very different.
A little bit, but
There
more
was that,
along the lines of like, for instance, one of his famous stories, At the Mountains of Madness. There was
Yeah.
the final scene has two of the characters escaping on a plane. One guy's flying it. He doesn't look anywhere. He's just focused on flying. One of the guys looks down at the city they're escaping from, and he just starts screaming. He just goes nuts.
Jeez.
And then he goes, the character's in a monologue for the final scene is, I don't know what he saw, but whatever he saw broke him. Like, he's mentally insane.
Jeez.
And that ends, like, a lot of his stories are, like, cliche that end with the character losing their minds, or they had already lost their mind, which is, like, a bit of a cliche, which is a shame. However, but it's a part of his story. Like, the whole point is, there is other beings out there. There are things out there that we cannot comprehend. They're just beyond our ability, and seeing it or just attempting to causes their brains to just.
Do you remember that South Park episode where Cthulhu invades?
Yeah.
Like Cartman
Yeah,
caves in.
and see the thing is like the thing with Cthulhu is that even though he's like sort of like the
So you like the
most-
mascot of sort of
Yeah,
Lovecraftian.
he's the mascot, but then there are other beings in that universe,
He looks
and
pretty
if you
weird.
look at them, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
What
the
are
thing is,
they?
like, Cthulhu makes sense, like, we can sort of, like, see him, but everyone else is, like, one guy is just literally an embodiment of, like, mass and eyeballs and tentacles.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's Yog-Sothoth.
Fair.
Yog-Sothoth.
You know,
And he basically is, like, just knowledge. He just knows everything.
oh,
Oh.
that's another South Park thing. that he was on the episode. Oh
yeah.
fuck.
But the thing is, again, like he just gives all this knowledge, but then he goes, okay, you can have this knowledge. I'm not going to stop you. People take the knowledge, they go insane.
And they die of AIDS. Or
Yeah.
They just go insane.
Because the knowledge that he has is just more than
Because
great.
the knowledge is like, I want to know something. I just want to know what it is. Like, a lot of the time is like the knowledge, maybe there are some things in this world we should not know.
Mm.
Like, do you feel like do you ever have that saying where it's just like, yeah, I wish I never knew that?
Yeah,
Actually,
but that's something like,
yeah.
hey,
Do you ever say that? Do you go, oh,
yeah,
I wish I
but
never
when,
knew that?
when you do that,
Yeah.
it's something like using the shower to give yourself an enema, like in the hotel, or vomiting and having to pick it up with your shirt, you know, something like
Yeah, but
that.
that's like, oh, I wish I didn't have to do that because that's shit.
Yeah.
But I
that.
mean, like, say if you knew something and you wish you never knew it. Think of it like that way, except if you knew
Oh,
it,
knowledge.
drove
Yeah,
you
in terms of like,
insane.
hey, dude, what was it I heard? You know, we only have 2 minutes to live. Every time we breathe, it resets the timer. Yeah, that's gonna fuck my mind a bit.
Yeah, that does fuck your
Awkward
mind.
silence.
It's just like, wait a minute. Yeah, it does.
I like a lot of that stuff, like the mind fucks. What
Yeah,
can
the
I think about it?
mind mess about.
You only
yeah.
have 2 minutes.
Not like Jaden Smith sort of shit, but yeah.
Oh, that guy's
Oh,
an
wait.
idiot.
You only have 2 minutes to live, but the timer resets every time you breathe.
Some shit like that, I don't know.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah.
See? Nice
Yeah.
lucky. Very
But
interesting.
yeah, so like a lot of it is
Wow.
like, but yeah. So, and see, that's what makes the, like, any, like, deep sea kind of horror.
Mm.
Like, The Thing. Like, John Carpenter's
I
The
fucking
Thing.
hate the Fantastic Four. What about
No,
it?
The Thing. The John
Thing.
Carpenter's Thing.
Oh, Jordan, yeah.
The Thing. It came.
Like Clash of the Titans.
No. It's like this, like the original Thing horror movie. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know what you're talking
I've heard.
about.
No, don't search it up.
Yeah,
I've heard
well-
of the thing, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but I think you know what I'm
I've
talking
heard
about.
of. I know. I think I know what you're
horror
talking
movie,
about.
The Host.
I've never seen it, but
Where it's like that massive
Yeah, it's
lizard.
kind of
it's called The Thing, though.
The Thing.
The
yeah,
Thing.
The Thing.
It's called The Thing.
It's called The Thing.
Yeah, the Godzilla thing as well.
Well, okay, so it's basically guys are stuck on an Arctic research base, and this thing
Yeah.
comes for them. And the thing is, that
They don't know what the thing is.
They don't know what the thing is. The thing could be anything or anyone,
Yeah.
and they're
But
like,
they never actually find out what.
Wait,
the
wait,
thing
wait,
is.
wait, wait, hang on.
Yeah.
Is the thing like it can transform into people? And just
yes.
Oh, I don't
think
know.
you know.
Is it the movie where like because they parodied
It had Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell was in it,
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
They parodied
Yeah.
it on South Park. Ironic
Yep.
connections. Anyway, coming full circle. So was it like they all took a sample of their blood, and then the one guy's blood like spits up, and it's like that's the thing or some shit.
Yeah, that sort of
I
thing.
think I
haven't
know what
seen
you're
it,
talking
yeah.
about now. I
But
watched that a
yeah.
long time ago.
But yeah, it's like, again, that whole horror of like, hey, this thing is, we don't know what it is.
We don't know what it is,
We
but
don't want to know what it is, we just need to live.
I
because
really-
no one actually knows what its original form is because it can transform.
I'm
Yeah.
really picky with horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it looks genuinely terrifying too. It's like, it keeps changing and morphing.
Yeah.
And like, it actually legit, and like the way it kills, like there's one guy they're performing surgery on. It's like the thing, like they're performing surgery on the thing and they don't realise it's the thing.
Yeah.
Stomach opens up,
Bam!
it like eats his hands, and the guy's like, oh god.
Yeah.
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 It's like the whole like xenomorphs. They look like they're
Yeah.
out of this world, but there's something
Yeah.
weirdly like believable about them.
Yeah.
And they're
And
I
that's-
know they're completely
And
different.
that's
but, like,
the other thing with like other horrors. Like, you've got the horror where it's
is it
sort
a
of like-
horror or is it a thriller?
Yeah, okay. I'd say Alien is more
that
thriller.
argument. Yeah.
Like, the thing is, like, sometimes with horror, sometimes you think of, like,
I suppose it's
would it be
multi-branded.
better if, like, say if it was the alien, would it be better if you, like, you never saw the alien?
Then what's
What
the
if
point
they
of the
just
movie?
said the alien existed? They never showed you the alien.
But because then the movie would be shit. The good
Yeah,
thing about
but what-
Alien is it's so cryptic and like it's so timeless as well that you can rewatch it now and be like, oh, what's going to happen? This is going to be scary. How are they going to stop it? And what's good plot points? Who's going to die? You know, that sort of shit.
And which is part of the reason why I like creepypasta so much, because the thing is, your mind fills in the blanks. Your mind, you can go. They give you a vague description of the creature,
Yeah.
and then your mind makes it into something more terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine is your ultimate weapon in
Yeah.
that sort of scenario.
That's why-
Like, for instance, the Wendigo, for instance, has so many different interpretations.
That's also why I like creepypastas better, because it's not actually a visual thing. It's more like a they tell you about it. It's kind of like reading. Like when you read something, your mind fills in
Yeah.
the pictures, right?
Yeah, mind
With
fills in the blank.
creepypastas, your mind is filling in the
Yeah.
pictures of what that thing
like
could
there
be.
are a few exceptions to that rule where it's just like that guy is genuinely terrifying, and there's like clear descriptions.
Mm.
That's different. Like with Jeff the Killer,
Yeah.
had his skin bleached and he cuts a smile into his face and he has no eyelids.
So-
Yeah.
That's genuinely terrifying. because goddamn.
Yeah, something like Salad.
Or
Fingers
Eyeless
whatever.
Jack. Eyeless Jack only had like one creepy pasta, and I listened to it. Not that scary.
Eyeless Jack.
Eyeless Jack.
Ugh.
He is blue hoodie, no face, but black eyes. That's all you see.
Edgelord.
And the story ends with a guy walking, like moving out of his house, walking past his dead brother, and with a scar where his kidney was.
That's just called being robbed.
Yeah, but he remembers seeing a being with no eyes with a blue hoodie. Yeah, sorry. So that's the thing. And then there are like Smile Dog, who's just like, oh, I'll just go insane if I look at it.
I suppose it's up to our interpretations. What scares us, as I said,
Yeah.
subjective.
Like-
It's our imagination that jumps to
Like for
conclusions.
instance, like there's like SCPs, for instance, Secure, Contain, Protect. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh, they're like similar, but they're like, it's what makes them that extra bit spooky is like, it's like a secret government facility that they use to capture, protect, and research these things. But at the same time, it's sort of like, okay, that's spooky, but it's that scary, but it's not terrifying. It doesn't get into your skull and genuinely scare you. Like, for instance, there's SCP-682, which is just classified as how to destroy reptile.
Oh,
And they try to kill it in every way possible. It just regenerates.
fair.
They have it submerged in acid, and it just regenerates from the acid.
Wow. So there's just like no way of killing this
There's no way to
reptile.
kill it. No. They tried at one point with using SCP-402, I believe it was, which is basically a crystal that converts everything else into a crystal. You touch it, you turn into a crystal.
Mm.
Like, there are some of those ones that are genuinely terrifying, and then they go, okay, that killed you. Okay, that's a terrible way to go. But that same time, they try to use it on SCP-682. It gets up to 68% through, it explodes, the guy regenerates. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's like, so again, SCPs are good, but they're not like genuinely terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
the famous one is SCP-172, known as the Sculpture. And it's like basically a weeping angel logic here. Don't blink.
Don't blink.
Don't blink.
Why?
Because if you blink, it snaps your neck.
Oh.
That's it. That's it.
So everyone's just like this.
Yeah, they just stare at it. Like, they have to clean its cell every so often. So they go, there's like 3 people walk in, and they go, okay, whatever you do, don't blink. Power goes out. And you're just like, okay. And like, it moves lightning fast. So yeah, that's another horror.
But
horror series.
I can't move if
If someone's looking at it. So you know that whole weeping angel logic there.
That's probably the longest I've gone without talking, to be honest.
Yeah, that probably was.
Why can't
But
I
I'm
move
probably
when
waffling.
someone's looking at it though?
What?
If it's
What
so
is-
quick, why can't I move?
What does it
when
look like when
someone's
it's
looking
like not like the real form? Is it just always a statue?
It's a statue.
But
It's
like,
a
what's its
statue.
real form when it's moving?
I don't know.
Ah,
But it's a massive concrete statue that,
Oh.
if you don't look at it, kills you.
Oh, okay.
fair enough.
Fair.
But like horror, as I said, subjective. I'm not really like into sort of, I guess, the creepypasta sort of thing where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this big thing's happening. This guy's escaped a containment facility,
Yeah.
or nah, it's this thing hiding in the roof, or the rapist in the roof, or some shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, it has to be
That-
something really special,
yeah.
well done. And I guess in terms of movies, good CGI or practical effects, whatever, something that really scares you. A dark atmosphere is
How-
always what's gets me
how
going.
about- Okay,
A
now
good, creepy atmosphere.
that's a lot of, like, we've discussed a lot of Western horror here, but how about Japanese horror?
Oh, dude, Japanese.
That shit is spooky.
Japanese are probably the Japanese are arguably the best at doing horror, because they don't rely, unlike shitty American ones, they don't rely on like, hey, it's chow roulette or hey, it's overused jump scares.
Yeah.
They try. They have fucked up imagery
Yeah, they have
and really like
imagery,
scary
yeah.
sounds and sort of movements. They know how to do horror. The Japanese
Like,
really well.
like when they do jump scares, like, it's like terrifying. Like, it
I
pierces in
probably
you.
wouldn't watch like anime horror or whatever they do, because that just would look silly in my opinion. But in terms of Japanese movies and stuff, that sounds kind of interesting, to be honest, because I reckon the Japanese are really good at doing horror, and because they're really good at it, because as I was mentioned, scary atmosphere combined with the fact that there's like spooky sounds going on, and it's not always up to our interpretations. It can be left vague sometimes, but when it's generally scary.
You know what I was gonna say? If we look at horror, look at Silent Hill horror interpretation.
Silent Hill video game or.
Silent Hill, the video game. I'm talking the original 4, Silent Hill, or maybe specifically Silent Hill 2.
Remember when Silent Hills got cancelled?
Yeah, no.
Why the fuck didn't they bring it out?
You know, because Konami is Konami.
Oh, Konami's douchebags, man. They should have just sold the rights to someone else. I mean, they 90% completed the video game. They could have just sold the rights. Boom.
Yeah,
easy.
True.
So why the hell would they keep such a great game or whatever?
I don't know, because they're dumb.
I fucking hate Konami.
But the main idea...
Literally.
Yeah,
let me say, Konami... Probably one of the most hated video game companies at this point, I'd say. Because they've pulled so much shady shit.
Yeah, they pulled
Hideo
shady
Kojima, the Metal Gear Solid sort of thing that happened.
But to be honest, like, everyone does shady crap.
Yeah.
But none more so than companies like EA, companies like Warner Brothers, companies like Konami, and Capcom. Some of them are just so scummy.
Yeah.
There are a few exceptions, bar none. Nintendo is a really solid company. I just wish they'd have a better internet policy.
Yeah.
Companies like, I guess, to an extent, Activision, I'm not the biggest fan of them, in fairness, but they do shit with their games as well that annoys the hell out of me.
But when I was...
Scummy companies everywhere.
But to kind of wrap up the horror point, but the point I was trying to make was...
Konami takes the cake, yep.
Yeah, what I was trying to... Yeah, obviously, besides Konami being shit. The point I was going to make was some
well,
of
actually,
the
Konami
best
makes...
horror...
Alright, here's the thing. Konami makes good games, but they're overshadowed by shitty business practices and shit that like end the games early, like... Metal Gear, not Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes. That was a fucking demo.
Yeah, $40 demo.
And that was
$40
demo. Oh, fuck, I interrupted you 9 times. What are you going to say about horrors?
Okay, so what I was going to say is like...
But another thing about Konami. That shit.
I'm kidding. But the final point, just to wrap up horror completely, is the best thing, one of the cool horror is like, the worst horror is the horror you inflict on yourself.
So like...
like in Silent Hill, it's like, nothing in Silent Hill is real. The town just makes you scared. The town like makes all your fears come true, and all your like terrible urges manifest as a physical thing. And if it's just like, hey, like the town's just like, yeah, I don't care. Here's like some pliers. Now torture yourself.
Yeah,
and you torture yourself because the town tell you to do it.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a hear no more, do no more act sort of thing.
Yeah, like the town is like maybe evil, but at the same time it's just like the greater evil is your internal self.
No, because the original Silent Hills is like you got to find your sister or whatever.
Yeah, but they later on expand in Silent Hill 2 at least. The everyone around you isn't quite the same. Like everyone's seeing different things.
Now what I like,
and it's revealed as the town has a magical power that basically internalizes all your feelings and all certain things. Like for instance, there's a bunch of nurses in Silent Hill 2. They have no faces. They lunge at you, they're scantily clad, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, even
they represent they represent those repressed urges.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah.
But here's the thing, I feel even the earlier Resident Evils do that quite well. Not the newer ones, but apart from 7. But like they do that quite well as well. And I even go as far as to say that stuff like in terms of I find sanity a pretty good complacent for sort of horror. For example, games like Perfect Dark where they play with your sanity, the more sanity you lose, sort of the more fucked up things get, like things will attack you more, monsters will draw closer. It's more of a shit show really, but I like that sort of stuff. It's entertaining, and it's fun, and it has a really creepy atmosphere, which I can appreciate about horror. Yeah, because it's good, because it's well done.
Which is why I'm looking forward to the new Call of Cthulhu game that's coming out.
When is that coming out?
This year.
But is the gameplay any good? That's a big part of games.
It looks, I don't know, it's like a murder mystery,
Bioshock
style. But what makes it cool is...
it's a fucking narrative-based game. Really?
Yeah, but it's a murder mystery.
So is it, what gameplay? Is it like Bioshock gameplay, narrative-based Telltale shit gameplay?
Outlast,
that's good. I like the Outlast sort of thing.
Story, that sort of thing.
Wait, is it choices?
I don't know.
Good.
I don't know.
Just play it safe and
but
just
the thing is, like, what makes it interesting is, like, your character will experience fears that your character goes through. Like, for instance, you can make your character claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that?
Well, no, it's a part of the game. So say if there's a monster chasing you, you hide in a closet. Hiding there too long, character becomes claustrophobic.
Really? Kind of like...
And the thing is, if you become claustrophobic, that has a drawback. The drawback is you breathe faster, your heartbeat, you become more obvious.
And you'll be like louder and breathing.
Yeah.
Months will be like, oh, there he is.
Or maybe you'll develop a fear of water if you get suddenly pulled under.
Oh,
and then as a result, you might be swimming,
So it plays on sanity.
Yeah, it plays on that sanity idea. You might be swimming, but suddenly something pulls you down really deep. Maybe the thing was never real. Maybe it's just messing with your mind.
Yeah, it's a lot of twists.
That whole idea of like...
That sounds really good.
Is your fear actually real, or is it just something in your mind that just say, no, it's real?
Right.
And just to you, it's real. Whereas everyone else is just like, no, it's nothing.
What are you talking about? Why are you under the water? Why did you go down there?
Like, why are you, like, just struggling to, like, flailing about in, like, knee-deep water, whereas to that person, they may as well have been pulled under the ocean?
Yeah, but if we can get back to movies, if you don't mind, horror, in terms of movies, there are a lot more generic shit put out. Like, there's a movie that came out last year, I think Happy Death Day. Do you remember the concept? It was really interesting.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I want to watch it, to be honest.
I've seen it. It was shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
It's like a 6 out. It's not even shit. It's like a 6 out of 10.
Interesting.
It's like a 6 out of 10. It's a really stupid twist at the end, predictable. But even that's like it has a really cool concept. It's like the Groundhog Day, but like she keeps getting murdered again instead of reliving the same day but being murdered. So she does it differently,
and she has to solve her own murder.
The killer. Yeah, she has to find the killer, and she can fucking get her life back. Whatever.
Move on with her life.
There's a stupid twist.
Also, she's kind of stuck in a loop where she dies every day.
Have you seen Groundhog Day?
Imagine,
no, I haven't actually.
Except with Groundhog Day, it's like whenever he goes, like if he goes to sleep, day restarts. Like there's a couple of points where he does become depressed, and he does.
Yeah, but then he gets over it and he's like, "Oh, I'm a god. No, I'm actually not a god. I'm gonna try and do this." And somehow, the only thing I hate about Groundhog Day, it mysteriously skips to the next day because he gets the girl in the right way. He got the girl before, but he suddenly gets it and it's back to normal. But this is like Happy Death Day. It's super generic, but it's like, hey, you gotta find the murderer, and it just turns out to be a stupid mate, and this hipster bitch finds the murderer, solves it, whatever, shit happens, stupid ending. Yeah.
But I was gonna say, with Groundhog Day, there's a point where he goes, what dumb shit can I do since I can, like, not die?
Oh, right.
Or, like, and I just reset the day.
Yeah, and some gay shit happens.
And then he just, then partway through the movie, he becomes depressed and just starts killing himself in interesting ways. There's a point where he jumps off a bell tower. Or
really?
Like, yeah, there's one point where he hops in a bathtub, grabs a toaster, and just drops the toaster and dies.
Yeah.
But just imagine dying and then forced to relive your death over and over and over.
Wow.
That would suck.
That would actually suck so bad.
Yeah, but you can make different choices.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, imagine, like, that girl, like, you would feel the pain. You would
but how the fuck does her mate control time?
That's a good question.
I think it's explained. I wasn't really paying attention. I was drunk, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because secretly, freaking, I don't know, what's that guy's name? The Avenger. But not really Avenger. He's
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is behind.
Oh my god. He's just like...
He's like, oh, welcome to my shit movie. Actually, it was good, but...
It was actually a pretty, like, effects-wise, it was like... Oh.
I saw it in IMAX, so I thought it was brilliant, but...
Should have watched it in IMAX. But oh well, I watched it in cinema. So.
Do you guys want to watch Infinity War in IMAX? We can do that. I'm not...
I've already bought tickets.
I'm not keen
Have
on
you?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
really?
you'll probably want to watch it again.
I'm not. I like
What day?
On the day it comes
It literally
out.
comes out in like
Anzac
10
Day,
days.
The day it comes
Anzac.
out. And it comes out on Anzac Day.
Also-
26th of...
25th of April.
25th of April.
Dude, it
23
literally...
days from now.
I will make sure that I take that night off work.
Yeah.
So what, I go watch it twice in a day?
Nah, but dude...
I don't know what time of TV.
It literally comes out in 10 days, doesn't it?
23 days.
Alright, Mr. W, are you looking forward to Infinity War?
Yeah, I am actually.
Is there anything that draws you to it? What draws you to it? What do you think is interesting about it? Because honestly, for my superhero fatigue, I feel like I'm sort of so little invested at this point that I almost don't care. But what do you like about it? What's interesting? What draws you to watch Infinity War?
Because I've pretty much been following the Marvel
Since Iron Man.
Yeah, since Iron Man.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's the culmination of everything.
And now it's like pretty much getting everything that we have so far
Mixing
and putting
it
it all into this one
Movie.
end movie that like
It's gonna be
Alright, so...
it's gonna be like the... I don't agree with them, like... I still think they should do the 2 movies, but now that they've only done the 1 movie, I don't know exactly.
I mean, I don't
how
exactly
good it's gonna
know
be.
what they're doing.
Do you feel like...
Yeah, but...
So you're drawn to it... Sorry if I'm interrupting.
Yeah.
You're drawn to it because it's bringing everyone together for one last battle.
Yeah.
Alright, but do you feel like instead of taking criticism on board, they're just shoving in more superheroes and making a big action romp, and that sort of might bring the movie down.
But that's sort
a
of
bit.
like what it's supposed to be, though.
Yeah,
it's
but
like supposed to be a massive
what
punch
if-
on with the biggest enemy they have.
But what if it's not well done? they just waste so much money on like one of the biggest movies
Yeah,
ever.
but they've already
so
each
far.
movie has made a fortune. Though.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's
either
that's
way,
the thing.
even if Infinity War flops,
Alright.
they're still gonna make money.
Yeah, review-wise it may flop, but they're going to make millions of dollars, probably $1 billion or so, because Black Panther made some ridiculous amount, which
No, the
didn't
Marvel
deserve it. So.
MCU is the most valuable movie franchise now.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Some of them are
It's
so bad,
made
generic,
more- it's
boring.
the most valuable franchise in existence now.
I can name
Jeez.
3 Marvel movies that I
I
really
don't know
like.
what it's worth though, but it's worth.
I-
it has made the most.
That, it
I
does not
swear
deserve
Disney
it.
was way bigger.
Disney owns
Disney
them.
owns it.
Oh, that's right. That's
Dis-
probably
Disney's-
why.
Disney's almost corrupt. Let me
Disney
tell you.
owns most of the biggest
Doesn't Disney own
franchises.
everything except like
They
DC?
own Fox now. Yeah.
Fox,
they don't own 21st Century yet.
You know what'd be cool? Correct me if I'm wrong. What if let me finish first. Disney brought Warner Brothers, and they could make like the first stage Lord of the Rings movies. I feel like because they have really good scripts on board.
Look, personally speaking, I think Disney should not be able to buy any more companies.
They
out.
will though. It's
They
inevitable.
They will.
It's
They're
inevitable.
going to.
They are.
They're
but
going to.
Someone needs to step in and go. No.
The
Disney,
only
you
way
can't do
someone's
that."
going to step in is if they have the money to do that, and Disney has way too much money for someone
Okay,
to do
I
that.
see-
Disney is too big now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney's
a
getting
monopoly.
huge.
A monopoly. Yeah.
And that's the problem.
I
if
see
Disney
Disney-
becomes a monopoly. Sorry, but Disney becomes a monopoly. The problem is all we're going to see is Disney stuff. Disney
No.
can push
And
whatever
here's
agenda
another
they
fear.
want.
Because they own Fox now, I'm fearing that all the new X-Men movies might feel the same as Marvel movies. Like, they might feel all samey.
Yeah.
Maybe they can get directors on board. Like, I
But
thought Logan
like
was really good.
Like you said, they can, like you say, you're saying they're stale and repetitive and not taking criticism.
Absolutely.
Imagine if they had a monopoly control.
Then they're
They don't care.
even more blind to
They
it.
don't care.
Arguably-
They are going to make money no matter what happens.
But it's the integrity
Someone
side of
has to
things
step
as
in.
well. Like, do you
Like-
want to make good films, or you should be a cash cow forever? You got to take some risks.
They're a
No, but the
business,
thing
they're a
is,
business, they
they're
don't
a
care.
business, and they are going to make good movies because they always have made good
So,
movies.
so the thing about I'd argue that against Marvel, but the thing about let's say a Marvel movie because it's based off a comic, but I don't know, a Star Wars movie that Disney owns as well. The director can tell any story he wants as long as he hits certain quotas,
Yeah.
whether it be
Yeah.
actors or the script. Now,
yeah, exactly.
the general consensus is that they're doing quite well with franchises like Marvel and Star Wars because Disney owns what? They own Marvel, they own Star Wars, they own Fox, they own ESPN, they own do they own? No, never mind.
And then they own
Yeah.
all the Disney stuff
Then
as
they
well.
own all their Disney. They own
And
Pixar.
Pixar and all that, and that's
They
fucking
own
massive right
what
now.
else do they own? They own a lot of things.
Well, they
Disney
own-
is huge.
All right, let's draw to this. Let's end it with this.
Again,
They own a lot of crap, and the reason they own a lot of crap is because they did so well in the beginning.
because they're a successful
Like Disney's
company.
what been around since the 30s, something like that, maybe even.
Longer.
Longer.
The
Maybe
20s.
no, I was no, maybe not. Like maybe the 30s. I'm gonna say 30s.
I don't know.
They
Maybe.
do- They have. I am looking forward. They'd probably do
But-
something big for their 100th.
But either
anniversary.
way, Disney doesn't care who makes their movies now because really they're getting all the money anyways.
Yeah, but
So really, what they're doing is they bought Marvel, but the people who originally own Marvel are still making all the decisions for Marvel
there's-
movies.
Like it's still like.
Pretty much
Disney
all they
is the
did is-
parent company,
yeah,
but then Disney funds Marvel. They fund
Yeah.
Fox. They
they
fund
fund.
ESPN.
They're like, I have all the money. You can have my money to make your movies as long as you give me all the money back that you make from those movies.
and even more and double.
And
it.
yeah,
Make me
so
more
it's
money.
kind of
Make
like,
me
hey,
more
we're
money.
giving you all
But
the
and that's
assets,
the
but you
thing.
got to
So
fulfill it.
they're not actually forcing them to change the way they're making movies. They're just allowing them to have a huger budget to
In
get
fact-
better actors, better quality
Yeah.
movies
In fact,
and stuff, so that they can
yeah.
make even more
In
money
fact,
back.
I even remember when Disney was initially buying out a lot of stuff. Everyone was like, "Whoa, Disney's gonna like ruin everything."
But they didn't.
But they haven't.
They haven't ruined anything
ruined
yet.
I'd
anything.
actually argue that they're doing quite well right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they
I
are.
mean, no doubt
Everyone's-
about they're doing well. It's
The
just
big
like
concern was like I remember with like Star Wars. It was
Star
just,
Wars,
they're
yeah.
gonna like water it down, make it for kids.
we just talked about
They
that. on the
didn't.
But then
last
Last Jedi, they killed Luke.
They killed it. Yeah.
They
They're just like-
killed people.
Yeah.
They're like that is not child. I would say.
I mean,
okay.
that's because the Force Awakens is new. They want to play it safe. It's a sequel
Yeah,
to a
like I
beloved
mean
movie.
that's a little bit different.
And
Like
now this
there's a
is an
difference
experiment.
between playing it safe and making something for kids. There's a little bit
Yeah.
of a difference.
Whatever, I'm thirsty, my head hurts. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for episode 8 of the Coinflip podcast. Mr. W, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Let
No
Brain
worries.
will do whatever. See you later, guys. Kill yourselves.